Alright, another video. These are Ford light control modules. These things go bad all the time. Usually what goes wrong with them are these relays that fail. It's really the only thing that really goes bad on these. So today I'm going to show you how to fix these things. It's a pretty easy fix. First, take the 2 torque screws out of the top of this module right here. 1, 2. And you go on the side here, take a screwdriver in, pry up a little bit on both sides. Take this off, top cover off. This one I actually forgot, I already have 1 relay out of it already, but there's 4 relays we're going to replace. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just so you see, I'm going to show you one that has, let me grab a different one here. Grab one that has not been torn into yet. Same thing, pull the 2 torque screws out, pry up on one side a little bit, pop the other side open. Alright, here's one that's not been messed with yet. These 2 screws. This side, to get it open, you want to just lift up on the edge a little bit. There's 2 tabs here. Split half of it open. You got some torque screws in here that hold this to the bottom. You really don't need to take that out. I mean, there's no reason to, because what they say, the only thing that goes bad in these are these relays right here. So these 4 relays. So what we need to do is remove the solder off the bottom of these relays to remove it from this. First thing I do is these Dremel tools, the wire wheels, invaluable tool. This is awesome to use. They have this rubberized coating on the bottom of these, and you don't want to solder through it. It stinks, it smokes, just makes a mess. So I go on and clean that off first. I mean, you don't have to. I like to do it because I don't want to smell the stuff in here. This makes it a little bit cleaner of a job. You know, you don't have to work with some black stuff you have burnt to the board. Make sure you don't grind down in the board and destroy the board. It's something you definitely don't want to do there too. Then what you really want to always keep around too is going to be your best friend in any electronic repair is alcohol. I keep these small bottles, and what's awesome too is these spray bottles. These things work great. You spray this board and wipe it down. You know, you got the small bottle for doing small cleanup, and a little bit bigger bottles. You don't have to write stuff like that on. I do it just to screw around. This is wasting time, but anyways, usually throw a piece of paper towel underneath it, spray it. Obviously you don't want a heavy coating of it. When you go stick a soldering iron on there, you don't want to have a little bit of fire anywhere. So when you start to solder, always move this alcohol and stuff away from the area you're soldering in. The soldering iron I use is the Heiko, the FX951. It's a great tool. I have some of the bigger stations, the pace stations, and I've always gone back to this Heiko. It heats up so fast, and it's an awesome tool. So that's why I stick with it. I think it's a great tool, and Heiko products are nice too. So when you go to start desoldering, what you want to do is get a little bit of flux on the point where you're going to be removing the solder from. I mean, you don't have to bury it because all it's going to do is make a mess. And just put a dab on each solder point you're going to be desoldering from. And get your solder wick. To desolder, I like using the big tip because you can get a lot of heat down. The more heat you get, you can heat up the wick a little bit more and get it to pull into the wick a little bit faster too. So you want to set the wick right next to the point you're going to desolder and apply heat to it. I like to get it to area you got a clean piece of wick, and then when you get down close to it, when you're done, I like to be able to do it to where you can see how you pulled all the solder right off of that joint there. You want to do that to all the solder joints. Don't get your hand too close to the wick here because it will burn you. Thing gets pretty hot pretty quick. So there's that one's desoldered off the board. Sometimes it won't just fall right off. Sometimes you got to heat up a tab and move it over a little bit. So that's how you remove the relays from these boards. Now before you go any further, I like to make sure you get this area nice and clean. When you got holes in the board, stick a piece of paper towel underneath there so the alcohol is soaked through and just soak into the paper towel. Clean the area. What you want to do is have your bottle like this. I take these brushes and cut the bristles down to where they're stiff and not real soft, because when they're soft you can't clean anything up. I spray it with alcohol and just clean it up like this. This works really well. What I'm going to do is set on the inside and clean the inside the same way. So you have a clean area there, you can get ready to solder the new relay in. Say you have that one there, the hole isn't all the way through on. You want to get that opened up a little bit by taking your solder wick and just cleaning some of that extra solder off of there. That's why the relay was kind of stuck to it there also. Clean that one up a little bit here too. And that's it. So this is a new relay. Some ones we're going to be installing here. Just line up the holes on it. Push it in. What you want to do until you get a little bit of solder on it is hold it up flat to the bottom of the surface. Take and bend a couple of the tabs over to hold that relay in place. So now it's held in place, just put a small dab of paste to it. Get a little bit of solder paste to it. Before you start adding solder to the joint, you want to get it heated up first. So get some heat to it and then lay it into it. That way you won't have a chance of getting a cold joint. So hold it there, let it heat up a second, and then start feeding solder into it. That way you get a nice shiny joint like that. You don't have to worry about a cold joint that's going to break away. Now you don't want to get a big ball of solder on here. It looks terrible, and it won't. You get a bad connection on it also. That's how you do that. And what you want to do after you're done, again, you want to clean up the area. That way you can inspect and check the solder joints that you just put down on there too. Make sure you have good connections on it. You're not going to have any issues later on with it. And that's how it's done. You do the other 4 like that. See if I can get a close up for you, if you can see. And that's how it look. So just do the other 4, and that's what the only issues they ever have with these modules is those relays. So fix it, and you have a working module again. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit like, and everybody's asking for soldering tutorials, so that's what I'll be doing next, showing you guys how to solder some surface mount chips down. So thanks for watching.